how's it going? My name is Jay and welcome to the channel and welcome back to Jurassic World Evolution, where today we're going to be starting on our final series before the release of Jurassic World Evolution 2. This is going to be a series titled Sorna Emergent Biopark, which of course is the final biopark in our long-running kind of playlist, I guess, of different bioparks that we've been building. We've done one in Isla Nublar, which was the first. We did one on Isla Matanceros, and then most recently we just finished up Tacaño Emergent Biopark. And all of these were really fun endeavors to kind of build a biologically accurate Jurassic Park or Jurassic World, kind of as I've always wanted to see it, with the use of mods. And now, kind of with mods in their prime, in their heyday, right before the kind of release of the next game, I thought it's the perfect time to do one final really big park using all these great mods, all these amazing creations that people have put up, and really kind of go all out with this park build. And I thought Isla Sorna is the perfect place to do this. It's large, it's got these, it's got so much like iconic imagery associated with it, I think, that we can really make use of as well as we're going through the park build. And of course, it's just it's got plenty of space for us to build in, which is really important because we're going to need it if we're going to be including everything we want to include. As you can see, we're going to start off by building up the main street. But before I actually talk about the process that we're going to go through, let's talk a little bit about some of the mods we're going to be featuring quite prominently. First off, as you can see, we're still using Northfire's terrain mod, Northfire's realistic terrain. And of course, all mods will be linked in the description. But that terrain mod specifically has always been my favorite. I did consider changing it out for something different, but I personally really like how it looks and it really kind of suits what I was going for. So more than happy to keep using it. We're also going to be using loads of decoration mods, which you'll be able to find linked down below. I can't remember all the different authors that I'm using, but they will again be linked down in the description. Primarily Danny Bob, of course, put out a lot of these amazing decoration packs. There was a decoration pack which had all the really incredible scenery from the Mosasaur paddock in the movie itself, which is, incredible stuff. And of course, I think, in fact, a few of these are by the same person, which is Radar 1985, I believe. They've made the Mosasaur stuff, and of course, they've also included this absolutely incredible mod, which essentially imports the majority of the Planet Zoo foliage into Jurassic World Evolution, giving us like an additional 80 or so items to use in the game, which is just mind-boggling. And it does make your load time take a bit longer. I would only recommend using this mod if you've got a bit of a beefier PC, because it will tank your loading times, but I think it's absolutely worth it. It is quite possibly my favorite mod so far because it's just given us so many opportunities with plants and stuff, as you can see that we've done with the outskirts of the Innovation Center over there. And we're also using a new path mod because I wanted some of these lovely woody textures, and if I can just find out who's actually made that, which I can't quite remember because I am constantly forgetting these things. I believe it's by Dandyman, if I'm not mistaken. It might be. It might not be, actually. Who knows? Let me double check. There's a few of these different path mods. Actually, I think they're by Fletcher. Yes, they are by Fletcher. And I quite like them. There's a gravelly path, there's a woody path, and there is a kind of like a bark path, like a kind of like almost kind of a dirtier, like swampy vibe, which I really like. They all look really excellent, and feel free to go down and download them as well. One really great mod that's been quite recently put up, and we've used it a little bit in the last biopark, is of course the mod that allows you to clip buildings together, and well, clip anything together. And I believe that was by Kyodenic, I think. And that mod especially has been so much fun to toy with. It's just been such an amazing thing to have. And especially as you can see here, down the main street, I can actually get rid of a lot of the backstage areas so that these buildings kind of open onto both sides, and that way I can have paths on both sides without having like a weird, backstage area that faces guests, which is really kind of a bit of a no-no in parks and stuff. So, well, first of all, let me get this out of the way. I love the buildings Frontier made for this game. especially the backstage areas, weirdly enough. Like, all the backstage areas are detailed so well and so beautifully. Like, Frontier did a stellar job. But of course, being able to clip buildings in like this just allows for some kind of newer things to be done, and I really enjoy doing that. I think it ends up looking quite nice, and I'm very happy with the results. We also play around with paths a lot. Again, paths can clip as well now, so it makes path design a little bit easier. Though of course there's still plenty of finicking to do, like kind of finicky things to do around here, as you can see, kind of having to delete paths and replace them and stuff like that. But in the end we end up, I think we end up with a really nice looking high street kind of area. And in today's episode we're going to be building this high street, we're going to be building the operations center, and finally we're going to be doing some work on the Albertosaurus paddock. So, I'm sorry, not Albertosaurus, Albertoceratops. So, these are a ceratopsian dinosaur created by LA Studios, and easily one of the most beautiful mods on the Nexus. Easily one of the most beautiful ceratopsians in the game now. Really stunning work, and some of the most beautiful skins as well. So you will see that later, of course, in the cinematics. And in fact, right after I finished filming this, I actually went ahead and filmed the next episode already, so that's already ready to go. I'm not sure when I'll release it. I might just release it according to schedule, or, you know, if I'm behind, then I'll release it maybe actually, I don't know, I'll probably just release it a bit earlier. I don't know, I'll see how it goes basically, and if I have more episodes already filmed, because I'm really enjoying building this park at the moment. It's so much fun. Here you can see me do some really fun rock work, which really I think kind of hides a lot of the imperfections, I guess, with the terrain and stuff like that. So as you can see, I've used the Mosasaur scenery piece to just outline the front of the high street here. I imagine people can look over into the water and stuff like that, of course, which will be quite nice. But the rocks and these mangrove plants really do a good job of hiding all that imperfection. Using some of these water lilies as well, and I think it looks really nice. I am a big fan of how this all ends up looking. And of course some sand, some terrain work, make the river area look quite nice. One of the things I want to do with this park is have a big river running right through it, and I think that'll end up looking quite good. Here you see me start working on the operations center. So I wanted it to be kind of up high a bit on a cliffside, so it's kind of overlooking the park. It's in a kind of a far corner as well, so kind of out of view of the guests. But I think it ended up looking quite nice. We merged together so many buildings for this, and I really quite like the vibe of this. It's all a lot more kind of straight-laced than the park itself. Everything's on a right angle, you know, like there's no really curvy parts or anything. We're using much darker parts as well. So really it looks a lot more kind of like, you know, very much a bit more intense, I guess. And as you can see, clipping buildings together is absolutely just so fun. And you can like put down like the weather stations and what are those called again? Storm defense stations, sorry. And just clip together all these buildings, and they just look so cool, like all together like that. Like you're building a big complex of things, and I think it looks so good. So I really quite enjoy how that turns out. Really nice stuff, I think. Anyways, while we're building all this, let's talk a little bit about Jurassic World Evolution 2 and how that's gonna, you know, be for the channel. So I'm kind of of two minds. I might just record like a regular playthrough of Jurassic World Evolution 2, see how that goes. Or I might do the playthrough on my own of the campaign and then just start like regular sandbox stuff on the channel. Let me know which one you'd prefer. Personally, like I don't know how entertaining it would be to see me actually play a campaign as opposed to something more creative. But who knows, it could be fun nonetheless. But again, just let me know down in the comments what you think. I'm unbelievably excited for Jurassic World Evolution 2. It looks phenomenal. I've been following it very closely, of course, every week with the, you know, the species profiles, the developer diaries. Last week we got so much amazing news from Gamescom. We've seen the aquatics for the first time, you know, like so much amazing stuff. And I decided at the end of the day not to really cover the kind of development stage of the game as much, because I think there's so many other people on YouTube who do it so much better than I can. And at the same time, I kind of want to just, like, there's a lot of me that wants to experience it like a fan, I guess, as opposed to a creator. Like, I'm not saying there's any real difference. Like, obviously, the people making these videos and stuff, they're huge fans, of course, same as I am. It's just kind of like, I don't know, it's nice to get involved with the hype and stuff like that, you know, like really follow along with these videos and learn about things as and when they appear, and seeing all these videos pop up my, like, homepage on YouTube. I don't know, something really fun about that I've really enjoyed. And I am just so excited for Jurassic World Evolution 2. It is, like I've always said on the channel, Jurassic World Evolution has always been one of my favorite games, but I can acknowledge that it was missing a lot of features which I would have really liked to see. And now, with Jurassic World Evolution 2, so many of those features are like coming to light, you know, like really amazing features. The modular aviary and aquarium system, that is incredible. The you know, new building styles where all the buildings can be customized like really deeply, decorations, the new dinosaurs. Like, okay, I gotta say this, Frontier's always done a great job at dinosaur and creature design, but the ones that I've seen so far in Jurassic World Evolution 2 are just really, really top notch. Some of the new creature designs are some of my favorites in the whole franchise. Chenzosaurus, which is the Chinese Tyrannosaurid, is incredible. Like, I was such a huge fan of that when I saw it. Like, it's beautiful design, along with these really gorgeously like put together horns on its, well, not horns, it's like eyebrow kind of thingies, but I think it looks really, really stunning. The colors, I love the new coloration system for the dinosaurs as well. The way you can like use patterns and colors and mix them together, I think that's going to create some really unique animals. Like, even seeing some like basic changes to a lot of the animals, like I've noticed now most of the dinosaurs, especially the theropods, well, only the theropods because this only applies to them, but they don't have pronated arms anymore, which is really, really cool to see. Like, of course we did see that in Battle at Big Rock. Like, in that shot, I think the Allosaurus's hands were no longer in that weird like pronated position, and in fact they were like positioned the right way up. And I think in Dominion as well, which is the next Jurassic World film, of course, they are going to do that to maintain the realism of it. And I've just really thought that was a great decision, because pronated arms look kind of weird. They've always looked kind of weird to me, but the fact that they've really made that change, I think really, really, like, it just makes all the animals look so much more realistic, makes them look a lot more like animals, and I've been blown away by how these animals look. I think the Chenzosaurus is probably my favorite. No, I do have a favorite, actually. They revealed the deluxe edition extra animals, and the Pachyrhinosaurus and Attenborosaurus in that one. Top notch, absolutely top notch, leagues and leagues above what I would have expected. That Attenborosaurus looks like so stunning and so realistic. The Pachyrhinosaurus as well looks so beautiful. I am getting the deluxe edition. Like, I was always going to get it because, you know, I always want like more of the same. Well, not more of the same, more of the new creatures and stuff. So I was always going to get it, but those two specifically, I would have bought the deluxe edition if it was just those two. They're beautiful. So I'm really looking forward to it. And of course, there were some other great additions to Geostenbergia, the pterosaur. Gorgeous, really loved it. But let's stop fanboying for a second here, you know, just to talk about what's actually going on screen. So we are building a bit of an orchard slash I don't know what you actually call it, a plantation, I guess, of some degree, because we're planting things. So I thought, you know, what better way to make use of all these new trees than to just put together an area where all of them would have been grown or like cloned, because of course this is a genetics facility specifically for the dinosaurs, and then you could harvest the fruit for feeding the animals and stuff, and I think it looks beautiful. I remember someone did this ages ago, like a few years ago, maybe on the well, not a few years ago, but like maybe like a year or two ago on the Jurassic World Evolution subreddit, it might have been Evolution Square actually, I'm not sure, or it could have been someone else, who did a version of this using just the base game trees that we were given kind of around that time, you know, with the palm trees and stuff. And it looked really stunning, so I thought, now we have all these plants, why not do this on a bigger scale? And I think it looks really, really good. I personally quite enjoy how it looks. It makes the operation center feel more alive, and it's just a nice little creative addition here, which I think really suits the area. It was quite tedious to put together, of course, because there's so many different plants I wanted to include, and I didn't want them to look all the same, so I rotated them each time as well, which also was a little bit silly on my part because the trees do have an auto-rotate feature, so I don't know why I was doing that. But I do think it ends up looking really nice, and I'm very pleased with how this part of the park actually turned out. Moving on from here, what we're actually going to do is just a few more touch-ups in the operation center as a whole, and then we're going to move on to working on the first habitat. We're going to add, I think, a couple other things here, like a power station and a few other small things. But while we're doing that, let's go back to talking about the, Jurassic World Evolution 2, because I am, like I said, extremely excited. Some of the things I'm most looking forward to, I got really quite surprised by the pre-order trailer, because in that, at the end of it, you see Jurassic Park San Diego, which is crazy because, so if you don't know what that is, of course, in the Lost World, Jurassic Park, the movie, the kind of purpose of that one group of people on the island, the InGen team, was to bring dinosaurs back to the mainland for essentially another go at Jurassic Park, a la Jurassic Park San Diego. And it's such an interesting concept, the idea of this chaos theory play mode that we're going to have within the game. Because it just means that we're going to relive some of these really interesting what-if scenarios, which is just like, oh, such a great idea. So whoever came up with that game mode, huge props, great idea. Because it's going to span across all of the movies so far as well. So I imagine we're going to get some pretty interesting scenarios. So yeah, that's going to be a lot of fun, I think. Other than that, Challenge Mode looks to be pretty fun. I imagine, of course, I'm going to spend all my time in sandbox mode because it's sandbox mode and it's me. Like, why? I'm always going to go for the most creative game mode most of the time. But it looks to be the sort of game where I'm going to really enjoy all the different modes. Maybe I'm not going to play all of them the same amount, of course not. Like for the campaign, for example, I played through it once or twice. If it's really good, maybe like 3 or 4 times. But with the sandbox, I will play all the time. And then challenge, maybe once in a while when I'm feeling like really interested in a bit of a challenge, I'll play that. I don't know how Chaos Theory mode is going to play at all. Whether it's going to be more like a challenge mode or more like a campaign. So we'll have to see about that one. But yeah, I'm just looking forward to it. With with this game, Jurassic World Evolution 1, I actually played the campaign 3 separate times. So I played it once fully when the game came out. I played it a second time, I think, when one of the first DLCs came out. And then I played the campaign completely one last time after the final DLC came out. So that was Return Jurassic Park. And I thought, I really enjoyed a lot of things about the campaign. There were a lot of things I wasn't super keen on. One of the things I was never keen on in Jurassic World Evolution was to focus on combat as a concept for these animals. I understand, again, Jurassic Park game, that's kind of, that is a part of the franchise, but I was never super into it. So I didn't really enjoy things like the security division missions and stuff like that. But I did enjoy kind of the vibe of it, the fact that there were people, talking to you, like the cast of the movies and stuff. I always really enjoyed that. And of course, I enjoyed the island settings. They were always beautiful and always fun to build on. But on my replays, I did find myself feeling a bit limited sometimes, which I don't think I will feel when I'm playing Jurassic World Evolution 2, because it seems there's so much more customization and creativity involved. So I'm looking forward to that. But I know, looking back on Jurassic World Evolution as a game, it's good. I would never say it's a bad game by any means. I've always really enjoyed it. And I think sometimes it's easy to be a bit harsh on a game, like, and I completely get it, like, there are flaws in Jurassic World Evolution. I completely understand, and it's, you know, completely understandable to have wanted more from it. But it brought to, like, we haven't had anything like Jurassic World Evolution since Operation Genesis, which was early 2000s. It's been a long time, and the quality that we got, I think, really, really, like, it stands apart, and it's really nice to see. So I'm just excited to see where it goes next, you know, like, Evolution 2 already looks fantastic, and, you know, I imagine that's going to have quite a good lifespan as well as it's going to progress. You know, we're going to have another few years of content, and it's going to be great, and I'm excited. But anyways, that out of the way, and of course I will be making content about Jurassic World Evolution 2 when it comes out. Before it comes out, maybe 1 or 2 videos, like, I might talk about, like, what I'm most looking forward to and stuff. Let me know if you'd be interested in that as well, because I don't know, you know, whether I will, but that, I think videos like that would be fun, but I wouldn't do, like, I don't think I'll be, like, covering news as it comes out, like I said, because loads of people already have. But yeah, as we just saw, I finished up the operations center over there. There was, like, some staff eating areas and stuff, and now we're going to continue working down here. Not only are we going to build the Alberta Ceratops habitat, actually, we're going to build a hotel area as well, if I'm not mistaken. Actually, we might not build a hotel area in this episode. We might build it in the next. I don't know. We'll find out, basically. But while we're getting all this ready, let's talk a little bit about the animal that we're going to be introducing today, which is the Alberta Ceratops. So it is a lovely ceratopsian. It is a centrosaur. So centrosaurs are a type of ceratopsian, essentially. They're quite interesting. They, generally speaking, have large central nose horns, but not necessarily all of them do. Like, for example, some classic ones which don't are Nasutoceratops, which we, of course, have in the game. And, in fact, this one, Alberta Ceratops, isn't really known for having a big nasal horn. It has a bit of a lump, kind of like a Pachyrhinosaurus or something. It does have the big 2 eyebrow horns, of course, which is characteristic of most ceratopsians. The kind of unique feature about this, and most ceratopsians do have a unique feature to them, which I think is really cool. So there's a specific museum, and I cannot remember which one, but it has a wall of ceratopsian skulls, and it is something to behold. It's a beautiful sight. It's the Natural History Museum of Utah. I just looked that up, and it's a genuinely beautiful structure. Like, if you look it up, I would highly recommend checking it out because it's a gorgeous sight, and you can see the diversity in ceratopsian skull shapes. They range, like, across, you know, like, the absolute variety of them is incredible. And Alberta Ceratops has a unique feature in the sense that it has what otherwise would be a relatively normal skull, but at the top of its frill, it actually has, like, these 2 horns that point outwards from each other, which is quite funny. It looks quite funny to me, but it's stunning. In general, ceratopsians are always stunning. They've always got something interesting about them, and they really, I think, are a great indicator of how diverse dinosaurs got. It is truly quite amazing. They are from the Judith River Formation, which is in North America, of course, and they found quite a lot of dinosaurs there. In fact, the next dinosaur in the next episode is one of them. It's a, well, I'm just going to say it now because I'm probably going to give it away. It's a Gorgosaurus, of course, which is a type of tyrannosaur. Other dinosaurs that have been found here include Dromaeosaurus, Ornithomimus, Troodon, Daspletosaurus, which we might include again as well. They found the crocodilomorph Deinosuchus, which is, of course, we featured in the last park as well. As far as herbivores go, we found a few different ceratopsians. Avaceratops, Alberta Ceratops, of course. Things like Medusaceratops, which is another very interesting ceratopsian with a very interesting frill. It's kind of like folded over almost, which is I think is really quite an odd shape. I think looks a little bit like if you were eating a taco and it kind of got soggy and folded over. We've got some really cool hadrosaurs as well, like Lambeosaurus, one of the most famous ones. So there's a lot of dinosaurs here that we could use. And I'm going back to kind of our roots with the first biopark, where we used kind of the formations to guide how we place the animals. And I think that's what we're going to do here as well. As you can see, we're just finishing up with the hotel area. I've just kind of clipped 3 hotels together. I'm not super sure about this layout. I might change it in the future, but I think it's all right for the time being. Just kind of wrapping it around with some path work and making it look a little bit neater. And then finally, we're going to start working on the actual habitat in these last few minutes. At least I hope we are. Like, have I forgotten to include the actual habitat build in this episode? Because if I have, I'll find it incredibly funny. But we might have. But I think it ends up looking quite nice. The habitat itself is pretty straightforward, and it's a relatively short build. It really is just this area here. See, okay, yeah, so I did include it. We're safe, don't worry. So I just included, of course, the viewing area, and then from here we'll actually build out a habitat. And I found that doubling the viewing areas makes it look quite nice as well. Gives it a bit more like oomph, I guess, and makes it feel like this is more of like an attraction. And I think it looks really good as well. As you can see with the hotels, I also included a little bit of a front kind of bamboo garden kind of situation, which I really like how that looks. Building the habitat itself, it's kind of square. It is a square basically, but with the use of invisible fences, some elevation changes, clipping some rocks and foliage, it ends up looking fantastic either way. Like I said, this river is going to go through the whole park. As you can see, that's one end of it going that way, and the other end will go the opposite direction. And the lake's kind of in the middle. I don't know if that's how, like, a river would form naturally. Probably not. But it's Jurassic World, and everything's kind of fake, so I think it works. Lots of rock work here. I really enjoy how this habitat turns out. I end up using a lot of bamboo here, which bamboo is fantastic. I'm so glad we have the Planet Zoo plants here. They really, really look good. Really, like, fantastic stuff. But we're coming up to the end of the episode now, and I barely started the habitat, so you can tell what in the episode actually took a lot of time and what didn't. But yeah, in just a bit you'll see me add the final bits of foliage and stuff, and in the cinematics you'll see the beautiful Alberta ceratops with their gorgeous skins and everything, so look forward to that. But yeah, that's it from me today. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. I hope you enjoyed me rambling on about Jurassic World Evolution 2 for a bit. And of course, the next episode's already filmed, so I will see you guys in that one. Do like the video if you did like today's video. Do subscribe as well for more Jurassic World Evolution content. And as always, I will see you all in the next video. Bye!